We've seen built-in functions that have more than one parameter. We can do the same thing with functions that we write. I have loaded into idle here another example program addition5.py, and you'll notice I define a sum problem with two parameters. By the way, the content of this function is something that we've basically done before in an earlier section, arranging to read in integer values and then print out a sentence involving arithmetic. In this case, I've set things up as a function, which is a good way to encapsulate or put in one tight package one particular idea. We can do a sum problem for any two numbers, and this does the actual printing. So here we have it. If we are given numbers x and y, the sum is going to be the sum, and then we're going to print the various pieces that we've had before to generate the sentence. Now, the difference, because we've written this as a function, is that I can have a main program that can do a bunch of different sum problems with all different values very simply. If I want canned values, I can fill them directly in, like to add 2 and 3, or, much bigger numbers. Okay? Plus, I still have the option of doing the other form of input that we were talking about, taking it from the user. So here I ask for integers from the user, convert the strings to integers, as we talked about before, and then I can just call the function with this data, and I get the result again. So having this function with parameters is going to be very convenient, and you see that it has, of course, two parameters. And the way this works when we call a function, like sum problem 2 and 3, is we look at these in order. We've got two parameters, 2 and 3. They then go over to the values for x, that would be the 2, and for y, that would be the 3. We can run this quick. And there you see, we want more integers, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There we are. So, again, the canned values 2 and 3 went in, and the bigger values there went in and calculated. And then, of course, I can take values from the user and then pass them to this function, and again, get this arithmetic statement. Going back to the tutorial here, let me explain the general format. Here, for instance, if we had a function that we called with 3 values, okay, I'm calling the actual parameters. Those are when you really call the function and say, do it now. Well, there must be a definition of a function, and they have formal parameters, so I'm calling them here formal 1, formal 2, and formal 3. And basically this just means implicitly it's like there were assignment statements at the beginning of the function call, with the formal parameters being assigned the values of the actual parameters. And no matter how many parameters you have, that's the way it works. Another thing to note in this section, and also the previous sections here, is that we have an exercise playing around with other math, this time with quotients.